Hi. Congratulations, first of all. I got choked, and what a fantastic role, and the fact that you're unrecognizable somewhere. So that's something that is.
Thank you so much.
So tell me, how did the role come to you? How did it start, and the whole process of it, and how did you become Sarita?
Back in 2017, I was watching some films at Mami, the Mumbai Indian Film Festival that happened.
Yeah.
And Anurag sir was sitting next to me and he said, "Do you picture karegi?" So I said, "Sir, I'm an actor. That's what I want to do." So he said, "Yeah, I'll send you a script. Let me know what you think." So I said, and this was a year probably after Mirziya, or like maybe probably a year after Mirziya. And he said, I read the script and I completely loved it. Like I couldn't put it down. And I called him right away and said that I want to do this film. So he said that no, you think about it. Don't say it in a haste because you're playing a mother. You're going to be playing someone much older than your age.
Yeah.
You are going to not look the typical Yash Raj glamorous heroine. So think about it before you make a decision. So I said that I have thought about it. I want to do it. So he said, okay, theek hai, karte hain. And then from 2017, it was a constant chasing of Anurag sir because he was busy with Sacred Games 1, Man Marziya, Mukkabaz, Love Stories, Sacred Games 2. So I used to kind of just go on all his film sets and then sit around saying, okay, when are we doing our film? When are we doing our film? So I said it to him with a lot of confidence saying that, I really want to do this film. And then after kind of saying it to him, I felt that, will I be able to pull this off? Or have I just said this and now, I was a little unsure of it. And I, along with a friend of mine, Kush Sinha, who likes to do photography but is not a photographer, and I got the writer of our film Mehra, and we went and bought saris, and with the costume boy, and we went and bought a few saris. I kidnapped one of my friend's son and said I'm going to take him for one day, and we did a photo shoot together.
Okay.
And we shot the entire day in like outside a rundown bank. We shot, in like just a small house somewhere near Dadar, and we shot like we went around shooting with just three of us, and I didn't there was no hair makeup because there was no hair makeup in the film either, and we set this look up, and that's when I was kind of convincing, okay, I can look like Sarita. So that's half the battle won. And I've showed these photos to Anurag sir, and he was so excited. He started jumping and he hugged me and he said, "This is my Sarita. Now I'll convince all the people who are against me taking you in the film because I've had this battle of nahi, Saiyamis correct, Saiyamis correct." So these photos are really going to help me, and we kind of got the ball moving with that.
Okay.
Then eventually I put on like 10 kilos for the part because I had to look older than the character. And then set was just surrendering to Anurag's style of working, and that was great fun.
Okay, so what was your first shot, if you can remember, and how did you feel?
My first shot was we shot in a very different style where we shot all the exteriors in a building, in a rundown building in Khar. So we were only shooting like bits of us going up the stairs, entering the house, because the house wasn't there. It was just the stairway that we shot. We shot the housing society. So we shot all that, the exterior bits we shot. Then we shot on a set in Filmistan later on when we had made the whole house up. So my first shot was just kind of getting my son down the stairway and like walking him out, walking him in. So Anurag eased me into it. So I got back from Greece, and in 3 days we started shooting. So there was we didn't do any rehearsals, we didn't do any readings. So on the first day I was like clearly very nervous, and Anurag came to me and said, "Listen, my style is different. You will get used to it. Don't be nervous because I know you have it in you." So that kind of just made me feel really good, and then later on we kind of got used to it. I got used to his ways of working, which was great fun.
Yeah, so from Rakeysh Prakash Mehra to him, and you also worked in a Marathi movie. So tell me about the directors that you worked with, and how different is Anurag? Like extending what you just said.
So there was Rakeysh sir, and then I actually just recently worked with Neeraj Pandey on a Hotstar show called Special Ops. Both Anurag sir and Rakeysh sir are very, very good with their actors. So like they are actors, directors, because they'll pamper their actors, and they have this equation which the actors that all the actors kind of want to work with them again. And with Neeraj sir, it was a very different working style again, because Neeraj sir is not very talkative at all. So, when you're on set, you don't know if you've done well, you've not done well, because he doesn't communicate too much while working. He's very like to the point, like, and he speaks very, very little. So his style of working is completely based on the script, because he writes his own script and he's so thorough with his script. And I think he's a really, really good writer. I've seen it in Wednesday. One of my favorite films. So he doesn't like too many things to be changed around from what the script is. He likes to stick to the script. Anurag Kashyap doesn't give you a script, so he's just like, you have to improvise. You do what you want. You know what your character is. And with Rakeysh sir, because it was my first project, we stuck very much to the script. And then he used to give you like this one take thing, chalo, aap maze karo, do what you want to do, after we had like safety takes. So every director, the style was very different, but with every director, there was a lot of learning as an actor.
And the fact that apart from a lot of praise that you've received for your role, you also got a very special praise from Sachin Tendulkar, who's been a hero. Look at that smile. It's on instantly right in your face. Tell me about this, fascination for Sachin, and the fact that how does that comment make it so special?
No, Sachin, I mean, like, to most people who like the sport, Sachin is a god in India, and he's somebody who we've just I've grown up like with posters all over my room of Sachin. So it was kind of really surreal when he came to watch Mirziya, because he came, that was the only thing I told Rakeysh. I said that, sir, whether or not you show this film to anyone, whether or not whatever you do with this film, I want Sachin Tendulkar to see this film, and you please make this happen. So Rakeysh used to think I'm totally crazy, and then Anurag also saw how crazy I am. And thankfully, after Mirziya, kind of have an equation with my childhood hero, which is I still don't believe it, because it still feels so surreal. So the day, I mean, he tweeted the night of the release. I think he posted it the night of the release. So the entire day, I was like, I didn't see anybody's messages on social media, because I was just going on seeing Sachin, like what he wrote. And my parents thought I was totally crazy because I couldn't wipe the smile off my face.
So how do you react to the term "paisa bolta hai"? What is your take on?
अगर पिक्चर ने पैसे कमाए होते, I would have gotten probably offers which before the film a lot of makers had offered me, but unfortunately पैसे नहीं कमाए. So in the Bollywood business definitely पैसा बोलता है. But I feel in life as well, because I've seen, like in our film, the relationship kind of sours because there is a lack of money. And I see like so many people who, like young people who say that we are in love, and love will last us forever. But the reality is, when you have money constraints that come into your life, it always kind of sours things. So I'm somebody who's not materialistic at all. So it's not like, my life revolves around money and my life revolves around materialistic things, but it definitely is a very important factor in most people's lives.
And you also come from a legacy of artists in the industry. And so what was their reaction to the series that you did? And what is that you take away from, I mean, and the fact that you have been born in a family which has a legacy of Hindi cinema, with Hindi cinema. And so tell me about their reactions, and tell me about what is that inspires you about them.
I actually have grown up in Nashik, so I've stayed very far away from the filmy side to my family. I'm extremely close to my aunt Tanvi and to Shabana Masi, and I always go to them if there is. I was auditioning for a particular project, so I went to Shabana Masi and said that, I think if you were young, this is who this you would have, really killed it in this part. So please help me. So I'll go to her when there's an audition. But I'm somebody who will not go and say that, please put in a word, or please see if you can, because I feel that if I have success or if I have failure, I wanted to be on my own stem. So even with Mirziya, they had no idea I'd signed it, or with Anurag's film, they had no idea I was doing the film. They only got to know like once the film was releasing. I like to keep it that way, because I think everyone should have their own journey. Having said that, I feel that they have been so supportive, because Shabana Mashi called and said, I know it's releasing on Netflix. Tell me how we can promote it. Everyone should watch the film. So I said, first you watch the film, then let's see about how we can promote it. So Javed uncle and she took time out, and we did like these screenings before the film dropped on Netflix. I was extremely nervous because obviously their opinion means a lot to me, and they're brutally honest because Shabana Mashi, ever before Mirziya, even through the film, was very honest with, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, and what. So she's always very proactively telling me what to do, or even Tanvi, my other aunt. So I was actually extremely overwhelmed by their response because they really liked my work, and they were extremely kind with their praise. I think Javed uncle said something which for me was a very big compliment, because he said they've known me since I've been young. They know how much I love sports. So Javed uncle and me are like Wimbledon buddies. We go for Wimbledon. We've been going the last 2 years. So he said that when I saw the film, I did not see this character had nothing to do with tennis or cricket. So your body didn't walk like a sportsman, or didn't look like this person even knows what tennis and cricket is. So I feel that's a big compliment for you.
Fantastic, and it's lovely to know that, because these are big names in the industry, and they look at performances in that sense as well. Okay, and you were very involved in the making of the film as well. I mean, the interviews that I've seen earlier, and the research that I've done, is about how you were even part of the editing table. You made sure that you were there at every juncture of the film's making. And I think you were also called a cockroach. I think that is one of the recent interviews. We're in and out of the editing room. So tell me about that as well. That you wanted to be totally involved in the film, apart from just acting.
So even with Mirziya and even this project, these two projects have been so dear and so close to me. With Mirziya, I used to like pester Rakeysh and go and sit in all the music sessions because that's something I love doing. And it's nothing like being an actor or anything, but I just love being a part of every process of the film because I'm so close and so attached to it. So even when Rakeysh used to go on Rakeysh, I used to go and say, okay, I want to come, and I used to go and sit in the dicky, in the boot of the car, and say, I'll find my place. Okay. So I used to always kind of just go everywhere because I was just I just wanted to be a part of every part of the film. And the similar thing with Choked is because the film has been with me since 2017. And then Anurag sir wasn't making it because he was busy. So me, the writer, and Roshan, my co-star, we made like the secret WhatsApp group, and we used to kind of just corner Anurag sir and say, okay, I've spoken to him today, you speak to him on Tuesday, I'll speak to him on Wednesday, and we used to pester him very systematically. So we've done everything to make sure the film happens. And when the film kind of took shape and it started, when we started shooting, Roshan and me were actually living with Anurag sir in his house. And it felt like family because we used to drive together, we used to come back, eat together. It felt like one family working. So detaching from projects like this is very difficult because you've invested so much in it. So I think for me that the learning is to kind of detach from projects like this in a certain way. I wasn't sitting on edit. I was just like, I used to sit in the edit room to see how the process works because I'm just someone who's very curious to see what is behind the maker's hair. Anurag's very good with his editing. So I was just curious to know how he functions. So it wasn't like I was sitting to say, oh, ye kyun kata, wo kyun kata. I was just sitting there to know the process. So it kind of became a joke where he said that Ritu to cockroach ban gayi hai, you're not leaving my house, and it became a joke. But I just really enjoy being a part of every stage. So even with the marketing, the Netflix marketing team was just like, oh my god, you're just constantly. So I said, yeah, I just want to push it out. I just want to be a part of everything that we do on this project.
Okay, what is your favorite Anurag Kashyap film apart from this one?
Mine is Black Friday. It will always be. I think it's a very, very honest film, and he made it with. I think he was also in a point where he wasn't politically taking a very strong stand at that point, but he just like kind of put out what he truly believed in Black Friday, and I loved the film.
Okay, and tell me about how did you deal with the lows in your life? How did you deal with the fact that your first film didn't do well? Did it bother you, or you just because you chose to do very little films, not too many? You didn't do many films. You could have been offered many. So was that something that you chose not to, or just look at quality projects and only do those?
The truth is that, like I said, I was so attached to Mirziya and or with Choked. Uh, the that when we finished filming and when the film released, I didn't really realize that okay, I felt like okay, it's not done well. What's the big deal?
Hmm.
Because I felt like I'd learned so much on the project. I'd made for me if I build relationships in a project where I know Rakesh is like family now. I know Gulzar Saab is always there for me, and it's such a big thing for some, like, to have an equation with Gulzar Saab. So
Hmm.
I feel that if I've achieved all this, I've achieved, a lot because I've learned a lot. So I
Hmm.
didn't realize the impact of failure right after the film didn't do well.
Hmm.
I only realized it a year later when I started realizing, okay, uh, the industry is not like as easy as it looks because the film's not made money. So clearly I'm not going to get offered the stuff which I was getting offered, and then people were, not offering me the same stuff.
Hmm.
So I said, okay, so money is important in this place. And then I started kind of feeling the disappointment, saying, "Arey kash picture mein paise kamaye hote," is only because I would have gotten offered more interesting things. But then I think I didn't take up stuff which, I'm in a fortunate place in life where I didn't have to do stuff for monetary reasons. So I could wait and hang on.
Hmm.
But it definitely is not easy because you see everyone, not only actors but just your school friends doing, staying busy. So for an actor to be secure is it's a contradictory term because actors are very insecure, I think. So for me, my going back to my sport has
Hmm.
helped me in a big way because I kept busy. I was running marathons. I was doing training for an Ironman. Besides that, I was very fortunate to have Adil Hussain, who's my teacher, who I keep going back to. So I used to spend a lot of time with Adil Hussain. I met him because of Mirziya. So he was training me for Mirziya, and I kind of kept in touch with him. And I used to go and workshop with him whenever he had time. So it was just working on your voice, your craft, working on whatever you can. Yesterday, I had a conversation with Adil ji, and he told me what he didn't like at all and what he liked in the film. And
Okay.
he said, now let's do video calls and let's work on it. So, I'm just really happy I have that
What
relationship
did
with
he like?
him.
Can you tell us what he liked?
So Adilji really liked my work and he was pleasantly surprised because we have been working together for like the last 2.5 years now. So he said, I'm very glad that I've seen a little bit of change, technically what he was working with me on. He's felt there's a change, improvement in a few certain areas. And he was very happy with how spontaneous I was in this film with my improvisations, and he was very happy with he felt I was very honest, and there were very few places where he felt dishonesty. So he actually was dissecting a lot of the film and telling me this is what I felt here or there. But I'm just glad that I have him to go and kind of go to and get honest feedback and an honest opinion because that's very important. I feel.
I interviewed him recently, and what an insightful, I mean, it was a very insightful interview because there's so much to him then.
Absolutely.
And he's also the teacher, and there's so many things. I've always asked him whether how do you talk about, if you find a non-actor, how do you train him? And he said there's no non-actor at all. So there's a lot there from him
Yes.
that we can talk about. Okay, also tell me this entire.
Which is why I just want to add, sorry, I just want to add to Adilji's thing is, in life in general, like even my family, like even Shabana Mazi, Javed uncle, they feel I'm very non-expressive and non-talkative and not an extrovert. I'm very introvertish. And they always said that, actors need to be a little more expressive.
Hmm.
And Adil ji has been kind of my cushioning where he said that I don't agree with that. And we every time I go to work with Adil ji in the last 2-3 years, I feel acting is a means to express what for me it is a means to express what I probably wouldn't express in real life to people. So which is why I find it like a means to kind of get my frustrations, anger, happiness, or any of these emotions out and kind of channelize them into scenes which we get,
Yeah.
which is why that's what I really enjoy in acting.
How does being a sports person help you in being you know taking to a field which is very mercurial, it is ups and downs, and
Mm-hmm.
how does this grounding of being into sports help you deal with this side?
It helps me in a very big way, and I've said this a lot of times, but I feel it's very important to always repeat it over and over again. So with sport, you have to have a certain discipline with regards to your life, with regards to just regimenting your life. And a lot of actors have trouble, like, waking up at 3 and 4 to work and having long hours to work. So all that has never been a problem, because it's just, I feel, a part and parcel of it. But I feel more than that, sport kind of teaches you to be perseverant. Even if you lose, it's not about, okay, I'm lost, and like, you don't get dejected, but you're always fighting and finding a way to bounce back, which sport has taught me the most. And I feel that's very important for someone who wants to pursue acting. You can't uh, feel defeated, and you can't feel down and out, because criticism and praise is a part of it. You can't take either of it seriously. I feel you have to just keep your head down and keep working on yourself.
Yeah.
So I think sport has taught me a lot in a big way.
And teamwork as well, because all your characters add to your performance, and there's so much of bouncing off of each other's.
Absolutely.
So tell me
Absolutely.
about that, because this looked like such a real place that you know these people. You probably have been one of them, or probably have met one of them. Your neighbors, right from your neighbors to the child to your co-star, the entire was such a believable, real space it was in. So tell me about all that.
Hmm.
Also interacting with your co-stars and your neighbors, people who played your neighbors.
Like you said, teamwork is very important for a film, and I just want to reiterate that, because I feel that I haven't done so much work, and I'm not in a place to be, preaching and stuff. But I just feel that actors take themselves very seriously. They kind of feel that, अरे मैंने क्या काम कर दिया है, मैंने ये किया है, वो किया है. And I feel that it's not, you can't take yourself so seriously, because it is a writer's writing. You're saying the writer's words. It is a director's vision. It is the makeup team making you look a certain way, the costume team, the cameraman. So I think if the team doesn't come together, you're never going to be where you are. I mean, obviously you're adding a lot to it, but it's also the very strong team behind you that kind of makes you uh, perform in a certain way or not perform in a certain way. So I feel, with regards to teamwork, if you have co-stars like a Roshan Matthew and Amrita Subhash, who are such giving actors, because lots of time actors can be very insecure and can be underconfident, so they probably don't give 100% when it's not their close up, or these strange politics that actors play. So with Roshan, he comes from a Malayalam film industry background, which is a very positive and healthy working atmosphere, I guess. So he was always there to kind of, even when AK was not letting us rehearse together and stuff, we used to kind of just go and say, okay, let's improvise, forget what AK wants to do, just for our security. So it was just like, to have somebody who is on the same wavelength as you is very, very comforting. With Amrita, she is somebody who is so good with her craft, and has such a strong body of work. She never made me feel insecure saying, oh, you are just like this one time actor who's done, she never made me feel that. And she was just very comforting. And with her, she is almost like, when you play sport, if you play with someone better, you up your game. So I feel even with acting, when you're performing with someone, you up your game. So she gave me that scope to kind of just push myself
Yeah.
in a certain way. So it was lots of fun working with both of them.
Fantastic. We all loved the series. We loved your role in it. Every character was endearing, interesting, and well, all the best to you. And tell me about your future projects that you're planning to do. If there is any that you're reading, or let me know about that. Otherwise, I think all the best. And this was a
Thanks. I had shot for an Amazon show much before we did Choke.
Mhm.
It's a show called Breathe, which I'm opposite Abhishek. It's Abhishek Bachchan's digital
Yes.
debut. So we had shot for this a long time ago, but I don't know when they're releasing. So I guess we are waiting for release for that.
Okay.
And I was also in the process of shooting for a Telugu film with Nagarjuna sir.
Okay.
We finished 80% of shoot, and unfortunately with Corona, we have to kind of now wait and watch when that happens. I'm playing a very exciting raw officer, so I'm doing lots of action, which I'm very excited about. Which I like really serious action, so that's something I'm very excited about. And I'm hoping when things settle down, people still remember my work in Chokes and offer me exciting things.
I'm sure, because I think a lot of people, because of being indoors, have had the time to spend so much time on on web series, on the OTT platforms. So it's all the more attention to you because people will sit and watch it at home because Dubai is opened up. We're working from office. This is office, not home.
Oh,
So yeah, yeah. Been working for the
but
last
please be safe, be careful.
Yes, we have our masks and things that
Yes,
we come to work with. But all the best, and I mean, we just love
thank
the good.
you.
And well, hope to see you in Dubai soon, and let's catch up again when you're here. Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully. Thank
You.
you. Thank you so much.
So that was Saiyami Kher speaking about her interesting, very beautiful web series, which is Choked on Netflix. And thank you very much for watching.